Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to open for our guest speaker today, Dr. Sam Brown. My name is Linda Roseman, and I would like to intrigue your mind a bit before Dr. Brown speaks on critical thinking. Today, we will be talking about developing critical thinking skills in distance education. What is critical thinking, and how do I teach my students to think critically? Critical thinking is a higher order skill associated with the ability to think rationally, to evaluate actions and beliefs according to certain criteria, and to correct actions or beliefs based on that evaluation. It's important to teach how to think instead of what to think when you're teaching critical thinking skills. Recommendations and suggestions to improve critical thinking skills development and deep learning included combining online discussions with other activities, such as collaborative group work, case studies, productions, and problem-based learning activities. Among others, two stand out to me: to develop more appropriate teaching and social presence. The process. One element to understand before critical thinking skills can be fostered is meta-knowing. Meta-knowing skills involve an awareness of how self and others know. Three categories of meta-knowing are meta-strategic, metacognitive, and epistemological. In the meta-strategic process, one has the ability to select and monitor the thinking strategies they use. Here, students are to ask what they know and to consider how they know it, which should result in deeper thinking. Metacognitive knowing operates at the level of declarative knowledge. Is it important to provide students with the opportunity to tell you what they know? Yes, it is. So we should provide that opportunity on a regular basis. Epistemological knowing involves understanding how one's knowledge fits into the broader range of what people know. The learning of the community occurs through the interaction of three elements: cognitive presence, teaching presence, and social presence. Cognitive presence is the most important element in critical thinking. Critical thinking can be referred to higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy, including analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Teaching presence is critical in the role of implementing discussion strategies and designing of student tasks for learning in online collaborative environments. The lack of teacher presence may result in decrease in knowledge in co-construction. Social presence in an online community plays an important role as social constructivism emphasizes the importance of culture and context in understanding phenomenon in community. Paul and Elder suggested in 2002 that critical thinking involves integrating one's thoughts, feelings, and desires. By understanding the relationships among thoughts, feelings, and desires, we can become routinely aware of and able to evaluate our feelings. This way, feelings can inform our thoughts instead of override them. Critical thinkers possess 7 characteristics. They are flexible. They identify with inherent biases and assumptions, maintain an air of skepticism, separate facts from opinions, don't oversimplify, use logical inference processes, and examine available evidence before drawing conclusions. Best practices. Critical thinking is not just a skill one holds alone. Critical thinking can best be fostered collaboratively. Collaboration can be initiated through threaded discussions, wikis, blogs, and many more. It is working with fellow students, the computer, and other resources the student may bring to the problem. Collaboration seems to be a twofold process. First, all pieces of the puzzle must be gathered. Then students must use each other as sounding boards in order to try out the thought process. This way other views are obtained. When talking best practices, students as well as instructors have procedures to follow. Students should ask the right questions, listen to each other, help help each other learn, respect each other's ideas, build on each other's ideas, construct their own understanding, and think in new ways. Instructors should maintain focus within the online environment. Keep the discussion intellectually responsible. Stimulate the discussion by asking probing questions that hold students accountable for their thinking. Encourage full participation. Summarize what needs to be done. And encourage students to build categories of thinking. Ideas and support. Ideas such as virtual teams, questioning, and self-reflecting are ideas that support critical thinking. Virtual team projects can foster critical thinking by allowing support and collaboration for each of the students. Constructive criticism as well as praise can push for deeper thinking on the individual's part. Questioning is a means of obtaining the effective feedback needed to evaluate student progress and an important way to increase student learning. Self-reflection plays an important role as students have time in an online setting to read, reflect, and then post, as well as go back and edit their post as they see fit based on their critical thinking that has taken place within the time frame allotted for their work. Self-reflection takes place as students read other information, posts, or replies from others. Is it possible to build or develop the critical thinking of students in distance education? Well, does a cat meow? You bet it does. So as I close today, I want you to think of this question I pose to you now. What inferences have you made throughout this presentation, and are they legitimate? Find out now as you listen to Dr. Sam Brown from the Critical Thinking Institute. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.